Best bites forever.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Alicia, and in this video you're going to learn how to make Brussels sprouts with blue cheese and spiced pecans. The first thing that I'm doing is adding about 2 cups of pecans into some boiling water. I'm going to blanch those for about 30 seconds, drain them, and then I'm going to add them into the spice mixture that I have here. So my spice mixture consists of sugar, olive oil, cumin, cayenne, allspice, cardamom, ginger, nutmeg, chili powder, black pepper, and coriander. I know it's a lot of spices, but when you put them all together, it is really an amazing combination, and I will put the list of ingredients at the end with all of the measurements. So now what I'm doing is I'm spreading them onto a sheet pan, which I have lined with a silpat, and these are going to go into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm going to stir them every 5 minutes. What I'm looking for is all of the liquid to disappear. The next thing that I'm going to do is zest 1 orange. And once I get all of the zest off of the orange, I do want to chop it into smaller pieces just so that when we add it into our mixture here in a second, you don't have any really long strands of the zest. That zest is going into a bowl, and then I am adding in a half of a cup of honey. And once I get all of my honey goodness in there, I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a teaspoon of salt. And last but not least, I'm adding in a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes. You can up this if you want to have a spicier mixture. You can also add in some cayenne if you want to have a little bit of spice. Do like a 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in there. I'm just using the chili flakes this time so that you just get the spice here and there. So here I have my Brussels sprouts, and I have washed these and dried them, and I've also trimmed off the stem end of them. In my pan I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I have the pan on almost all the way up on high heat, like just under high heat. So all of the Brussels sprouts go in there face side down, and I'm just trying to get a nice color on the outside of them. So I'm giving them a nice little sear, and that's why you need the high heat. If you do a lower heat, then they tend to lose their liquid and then they steam, and you don't get this beautiful color on them that we're going for. And they should really only take about a minute on each side to get the color. If they're taking longer than that, you may not have your heat up high enough. So I actually have enough Brussels sprouts for 2 batches, and this is my second batch here. Normally I would leave the Brussels sprouts in the pan and add the honey mixture directly on top of them, but I did remove them in this case, so I'm just going to add my honey mixture back into the pan. And then I'm going to add the Brussels sprouts on top of the honey mixture. But like I said, if you only have enough for 1 batch, just go ahead and leave those Brussels sprouts in the pan and pour the honey on top of them. Once you get both things into the pan, you're going to stir it around until your Brussels sprouts are very well coated in the honey mixture, and then transfer them to a bowl. So here I'm going to add in about half of my pecans. I don't want to put them all in there because the beautiful little spice mixture that you just put on there is going to come off from the liquid, but you also want to have some tossed in there just so they look pretty. So I'm mixing in about half, and then I'm going to put them into my serving bowl. Once I have my Brussels sprouts into the serving bowl, I'm going to crumble some blue cheese right on top of it, and I'm using Stilton. You can use whatever kind you want, but make sure it's one that you love because it definitely has a strong flavor, but it really holds up well to the Brussels sprouts, so they're great together. You can also put the rest of the pecans on top or put them on the table so people can put their own on, and this is what it's going to look like when it's all finished. Don't forget that the full recipe will be given at the very end of this video.
Hi again, thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a like and a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends because sharing is caring. And if you're not already a subscriber, be sure to go ahead and subscribe now. Thank you so much for watching, and happy cooking, everyone.
bestbitesforever.com